positive vibes. You deserve good things. I feel like we have seen something like this one before. I really don't have much to add to it. But when it comes to deserving nice things in general, overall, I think that nobody deserves to have a miserable existence, especially a miserable beginning. I feel like sometimes your beginning is going to define a lot of what happens with you in the future. But at the same time, I do believe that you don't have to be condemned to it, because I could argue, for instance, that people who superficially look like they had everything as children, they can still end up becoming folks who break the law or just don't function right. In the same manner that you can have folks with tough beginnings just turn their stuff around. I think that everyone is deserving of a good life, but I just feel like we don't know how to get there. If I were to rephrase that, let's say that everyone has their version of what they believe is going to save the world. Like, let's just simplify it like that. Everybody at some point maybe thought that they saw everything clearly and you knew what it was that you needed to save the world. But the problem is that we all just disagree on how to do that. So when I see something like everybody deserves to be happy, your version of happiness, what you need to feel fulfilled as fully happy, may differ from the needs and wants and desires that I have that would make me happy. Therefore, I think that if everybody in the planet, in their respective languages, in their respective understanding, say as a child who has comprehension, up to the adult who is the oldest to have their mind very well put together, if they were to see this, you deserve happiness, do you think everybody would just universally be like, nah, I don't deserve happiness, or yeah, I deserve happiness? I would think that everyone does what they do because they're pursuing the happiness, even if the action that's leading to the happiness is not what's making you happy. To give that some definition, I think about work. Why do I work? Because I want to be able to not live in the street and eat and drive my car, little things like that. But I'm not happy about how I'm making the money. But I will continue to do it because it's what I need. Because if I don't have it, then I'm going to have new problems appear in my life that being out of the job is going to be worse for me than having the job, if that makes sense. When I see something like you deserve happiness, I'm like, well, who doesn't? Would happy people inflict hurt and damage onto others? But what is it that we systematically need for everyone to just be happy? And everybody's focus is going to be different. Everybody's intention is going to be different. That's the thing. We have too much difference, too much division, too much individualism. Even though we all share the same basic needs, like we need clean air, we need the water, we need the food, we need the clothes, we need the shelter. I guess we have deviated so far from that, from focusing on those things being fulfilled ought to be enough to be happy, that politicizing other things, I think, is what led to the complication of the world. For instance, if you have those needs met, you may start thinking about, but the weather here is really cold. Let me move somewhere that's warmer. And then when you get to the warmer place, maybe you begin to taste new food that you've never had before. And now you're like, I'm living in the warm place now, but the food that exists here is too, I don't know, vegetable ridden. I want more meat. So now you're going to move to a new place that has the warm climate with the meat that you want to eat. But now let's say that for some reason it's a very humid place and you don't like the rain. Well, I get the meat and I get the climate that I want to absorb, but I don't enjoy the precipitation. I need a sunny place. So now you move and now you move and now you move. I can say the same about people's intention with life and what it is that fulfills them, what it is that makes them happy. When you're living by yourself, maybe you could be of the opinion that I'm living by myself, stuff is quiet, stuff looks the way I want it, stuff is all based on my image and serving me. However, at some point, maybe living by yourself becomes a little bit overwhelming because of what it means to be by yourself. It can be scary to not have immediate support present at home. What do? And then you start incorporating people into your life, but with that incorporation, it may be a disruption for other people, or it may not. Or maybe you'll bring someone to your home, but then you cannot just be happy with them just existing here. You need to be trying to change how they are, because your version of happiness having someone at home is different from the version that the other person may have of living happily at home. What are you doing? Creating a problem, complicating things. Again, your necessities are being fulfilled, but somehow you are able to overcomplicate it. And I think that if we could all ensure and guarantee that those basic needs are met no matter what, I think that would guarantee stability that some people, if they embark on a quest, I don't know what to describe it as, that's self-defining. They might realize that, hey, maybe I don't need to go out there and be a clown, because no matter what happens, my needs are fulfilled. I think that misery happens, bad things happens, unhappiness happens when a need is not fulfilled. And for some people, it looks like poverty. It looks like you don't have clothes, you don't have food security, access to alleviating physical pain. So it's just one of those things that we will never agree, it seems, on what it is that we need to be happy. Therefore, is it even possible for happiness to be achieved across the board because of how different we can be? I hope that made sense, because I see what I'm trying to say, but I'm having trouble putting it into words. And I guess it's because ultimately we're never going to be able to be the same, because we're not meant to be the same. But anyway, I just hope that stuff just works out for everybody best as it can, and just try to become aware of the things that can destroy your life. For instance, crime, and just don't do it, no matter how desperate or how angry you get. Nobody deserves to have their life taken from them because you are mad about something. Well, there you guys have it. That's it from me on this one. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Let me know your thoughts.